Yeah, it's been great. I think when you finally get to share the music you've had for a year, you know, best part of, well, 6 months, it's really exciting, and it's been great seeing the songs going to radio and people listening to them. So really good, and yeah, I mean, you know, I think that basically the general response seems really good and nice to talk about it. Fell in love with the summer. Well, yeah, if no one had ever. It's a really uplifting record. It's a very I don't know, you know, it has many sides to it, so it's eclectic in a sense musically, but the thread is obviously is kind of our style of songwriting. I think it's very much we wanted to do an album like us doing us the best, so we didn't really try and move away too far from what the Kooks is. We definitely did that on our 4th album, and then it was like this album felt like a time to 5th album was time to really step up and do your maybe we felt like it's time for us to do our definitive record. And so yeah, it's a proper British rock and roll album, guitars and harmonies. The truth is hanging in the night, hanging. Yeah, it is. I think it's almost like we had a mid-band life crisis. we kind of went like, there's so much that you can do and so many ways you can take your music. The things, really actually what keeps the thread is it should be the songs. But we all sat down. It was mainly because we started working on a record and we decided to scrap it or to go in a different direction, and almost learning what we didn't want helped us learn what we wanted. And I think that was a big turning point in in everything for us, because we just sat down all together and said, look, we want to make a record that sits in the line of British bands, and we don't really want to go and try and do something super modern. It's going to be modern anyway because we're young, well, ish, and really like true creativity. You can be super creative with just, you know, a guitar that everyone's heard before, but, you know, new music and new sounds and new words. So when we decided that, it all kind of came into focus, and it's about chemistry, it's about great songwriting, hopefully, and yeah, and it is what it is, honest, essentially. Yeah, I think that the Let's Go Sunshine name really to me was definitely what I was playing with words and what I wanted it to feel like, the album. And I think it is, it's like the album's quite joyous, letting go of the past, like getting rid of the old, and yeah, I definitely was in a happier place. I mean, I halfway through I kind of fell in love, and I think that when, you know, beginning of love, you know, you have that really nice time when your endorphins are firing off, and I think that definitely seeped into the record, which begs the question where people always ask, you know, do you need to be feeling sad to write good songs? I don't know. On this one it was probably not the case, and yeah, it's, I think you can feel it. I think you can just feel that the band, like when you listen to this album, you can sort of hear that we're all like enjoying each other's company. We're all having a good time. Excuse the pun, because that's our single. We're all enjoying playing music a lot, like really enjoying the process, and that translates. That energy translates massively. Darling, you give me shelter. Well, we chose 2 songs because we couldn't decide. It's quite a hard record for that, because there's lots of different songs that could potentially be a good first song. And forget single for a minute, because singles it's totally relevant, you know, and it's what we were putting to radio and stuff, but mainly because we hadn't done a studio album for 4 years. The first song that you put out is super important because you're showing what your new work is like, and I just felt like we couldn't decide. I mean, like, No Pressure is so us and so Joy is so summer and all that kind of thing, and it does represent the album, but then there's also some other flavours, and I think that we wanted to show that. So All the Time shows probably a bit more of a modern feel and a bit more of I don't know, a bit more upbeat or something like that. So it's cool, and I think it's nice in the modern way of doing things. You can do that now. It's enjoyable. Double A side. Just so you can if you put it on a loop, it just keeps going round.
So we should listen to it several times.
It never ends.
Right.
Just get it's like that Black Mirror episode. Just get you know. Fell in love with the summer. Yeah, Honeybee was great doing Honeybee. It was what happened basically was my sister found this demo of my dad, and my dad died when I was 3 years old, so like 30 years ago, and I never really got to obviously really meet him and talk to him, and my real connection with him was always through music. I think that's pretty much why I do music, because yeah, I grew up with, you know, his guitars and his records and things like this. And anyway, so she found this old demo, and I just started playing it because I wanted to learn the song, and the guys thought it was my song, and so we just started jamming it. I didn't really think much of it. We recorded it, sounded really good, and then I just thought if it would be great if I could splice his vocal in, and it was kind of like, just for me, I didn't really do it. I didn't think it would be on the album, to be perfectly honest, but it was like we were in the studio, everyone was supportive in the sense that like this is a cool moment, and I just wanted to sing with my dad, and it was cool, you know. I got in the vocal booth and I could sing with my dad, and that's a really special thing to be able to do, and hopefully it came across well. But you know, there's a bit of magic there, and it was emotional, but it wasn't sad. It was very a very nice moment. The truth is hanging in the night, hanging. Yeah, I mean, you know, my dad really, his style was quite kind of country, like he loved the Everly Brothers, and he loved Albert Lee and Elvis, stuff like that. So he was much more like he had records, but he wasn't really as into rock and roll as he was into country. Well, I guess Elvis is rock and roll, but you know what I mean. Like, he definitely was on that kind of side of it. So yeah, I think the Everly Brothers. Whenever I hear the Everly Brothers, it reminds me of my dad. It's yeah, TESCO. Yeah, it's exactly. It's like for a friend who's sort of going off on a different path to you, and it's purely platonic, but you can have platonic love, and it's a totally true to life story, really. And I just was worried about a friend of mine, and she's cool now, and she was cool, but she just got herself into a bad relationship, and I just got to that point. I was like, I can't really follow you down this kind of road. And so yeah, that's that tune, and TESCO Disco. It was the reason why I used that was because it was like it was a club in London that was like, well, not really a club. It was more like a rave that we all used to go to. Like everyone, all like all the bands and everything, and the singers, the artists of that time. Everyone used to go there. It was a fun hang, and it was like. You know, you go in and they play great music, and it was like a pound for a beer kind of thing, and we used to go. So that you know, I just thought it sounded cool to begin with, and then I built the song. Hopefully something that people will, but I'm sure everyone's kind of gone through a similar story. So. Darling, you give me shelter. Yeah, I think, you know, there's a song on the new album, yeah, about falling in love with a mental patient. So still some fun songs, but yeah, I think, you know, at the end of the day, you can't. It's good to not take yourself too seriously, even when you get older. So you stay young. Yeah, we actually we are going to do a tour of Europe in March, so we'll definitely be playing France. I don't know the details, we're just fleshing them out now, but definitely, like, we're doing a bunch of festivals, but not France this time, but next year, definitely March, we'll be back. I'm So Tired by John Lennon. I haven't slept a wink. Fell in love with the summer. I did a short film with Gus Unger Hamilton from Old J, and a friend of ours who wrote the script, and we kind of we play basically old friends that bump into each other in a small town in the south of France, and I'm kind of down and out. We're both in bands, and I'm kind of down and out, kind of having a hard time, and he comes in and he's like living the dream, and like he's supporting Bob Dylan in the town, and then we kind of end up getting together, hanging out, and having a lot of drinks and a lot of laughs in the town. So it's fun. You really have done your research. I love this. I appreciate it.